It's kind of like Aniya and Carl not winning Love Island Season 8. Much like Aniya and Carl's second place finish, this price hike feels like a real slap in the face.
Hang on, Tariq, I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you there.
Apparently, Jimmy and Tariq are now debating who should have won Love Island. And after spending an enormous amount of time watching, reacting to, and analyzing these relationships as a therapist, I have a few thoughts. Hi, I'm Dr. Pam, so let's just dive right in and see who made the stronger case. I'll give Jimmy or Tariq a point whenever one of them makes a strong argument. And we will tally up the score at the end and see who wins. Let's get right into it.
I just think calling Aniya and Carl's second place finish a slap in the face isn't being fair to this season's winners, Trinity and Bryce. You're ignoring their undeniable chemistry and genuine no-drama bond from day one.
When Jimmy says Trinity and Bryce had undeniable chemistry and genuine no-drama bond from day one, okay, Jimmy is making the secure relationship argument, consistency, chemistry, and no drama. And I have to give him this. We often confuse drama with depth. That being said, there is also a difference between no drama and no conflict. Every real relationship will eventually have differences, tension, or conflict to work through, and Bryce and Trinity did work through some issues with each other. So, point for Jimmy.
Aniya and Carl had to overcome so many obstacles.
Yeah, like obstacles of like Aniya literally choosing Casey over Carl at Casa Amor. Yeah.
She was trying to be loyal, and you know it. And what happened? Casey walked back into that villa with TT on his arm and left Aniya standing there alone. It was awful.
When Tariq says Aniya and Carl had to overcome obstacles, it was awful. By the way that he says it just cracks me up because it really was awful. But he sure puts a humorous spin on it. We sure can get fired up when we choose our favorite couple. Tariq is making the who has the better story argument. Aniya had a much more complicated journey before finding her way back to Carl, and that was compelling. Heartbreak, regret, redemption, America voting Carl back into the villa. Tariq had a whole movie in the making on his side here. But a better story does not automatically mean a better relationship. However, overcoming obstacles can deepen a bond. The question is whether Aniya and Carl actually overcame obstacles together, or whether Aniya went through an emotional journey that eventually brought her back to Carl. Sorry, Tariq, no point for that one, but hang on, you have a point coming your way to you.
So that suddenly it makes Carl her soulmate? You sound like a fool right now, Tariq! Trinity and Bryce stayed loyal through Casa, survived every test, and became the first actual boyfriend and girlfriend of the season. Case closed!
Okay, Jimmy, you lose a point for calling Tariq a fool, but you do make a good point about Bryce and Trinity making it through the challenges, and Casa Amor did seem to help them realize how much they missed each other and deepen what they were feeling toward each other. Now, going through a challenge does not automatically make a relationship stronger, but in their case, it seemed to give them more clarity about what they had with each other. Okay, Jimmy, I'll give you a point for that one. But choosing KC at that moment does not mean what she later felt for Carl wasn't real. Emotions are not a light switch. We can't just suddenly turn off our feelings from one relationship and immediately shift to another. Aniya may have needed to fully see the relationship she was already in before she could genuinely choose something different. I talked about that in my video. Feel free to check that out if you'd like, Jimmy. When Tariq says that she was trying to be loyal, yes, that was part of it. And this is why I don't think Aniya choosing KC necessarily proves Carl was second best. Sometimes loyalty keeps us in something longer than we should stay in. So when Jimmy says, so that suddenly makes Carl her soulmate, Jimmy, that doesn't make the obstacles Aniya and Carl went through any less meaningful. Their journey may not prove they were soulmates, but it did give them an opportunity to find their way back to each other and build something different. So, point for Tariq. But when Jimmy argues Trinity and Bryce survived every test and became boyfriend and girlfriend, That is Jimmy's strongest argument. We cannot penalize a healthy relationship for not being dysfunctional enough. Point for Jimmy.
Oh, congratulations. They had no adversity. Aniya and Carl had heartbreak, regret, redemption. America literally voted Carl back from the dead. And by the next day, they were making out into that Say Less lounge.
Okay, Tariq does have a point here. Adversity is not what makes a relationship good, but challenges do give us more information about a relationship and each other. It's easy to feel connected when everything is going well. We learn something different when two people have to deal with disappointment, conflict, or uncertainty together. But I also don't think that we should hold it against Bryce and Trinity that they didn't have to overcome adversity, and they did go through challenges. For example, feelings of insecurity did surface, and they did work through it. But then Tariq says Aniya and Carl had heartbreak, regret, and redemption. And this may be exactly why he feels so passionate about them. Tariq is not necessarily arguing that they had the strongest established relationship. He may be arguing that they had the most emotionally compelling story.
Oh, so now making out in the lounge is considered true love.
Well, it's more real than cruising to the finale on a 6-week honeymoon.
Sometimes love is about knowing what you want from the beginning. That's why Trinity and Bryce not only deserve to win, they did win. You know I'm right. Admit it.
Well, certainly knowing what you want in the beginning is important, but that does not make a love story any less compelling or meaningful because it took some time to find each other. Sorry, Jimmy, no point for that one.
Love is about overcoming hurdles to build a deeper bond, which is exactly what Aniya and Carl did the entire season. They deserve the win. They deserve that prize money.
Well, love is definitely about overcoming hurdles and building a deeper bond through them. I completely agree with that. Point, Tariq. How two people handle conflict, disappointment, and difficult moments together tells us a lot about the strength of a relationship. But that does not necessarily mean the couple who had the most hurdles had the best relationship. Jimmy is making the stronger relationship argument while Tariq is making the more compelling love story argument. And they actually tied with 2 points each. But you know who really decides in the end? Well, yes, America decided who won on Love Island, but Bryce and Trinity and Carl and Aniya will decide what happens next. If they are able to take what they found in the villa and build a healthy, lasting, strong relationship outside of it, then they all win. And that's what I hope for all of them. Thank you, Jimmy and Tariq. That was fun. If you have not watched my Therapist Reacts to Love Island videos, check them out right here. See you next time.